Johnny Rock Show, Rockin' 101, the Rock Station.
Our special guest, Todd Rundgren, Still Me, Still We U.S. Tour, June 21st in Rhode Island it starts. He's opening for Heart on select dates, and he's coming to the Great Pantages Theater in Minneapolis, July 16th. Todd, I don't think I've ever had the pleasure. How you doing?
I'm good, and I believe you are correct in that regard. Well, let's make up for it now.
Well, yes. Do you do a lot of interviews? It seems like I don't, there's these, hey, listen, with all due respect, I talked to Skinnerd 4 times last week, but you, it's a little tough to get. Do you do a lot of interviews?
I'm not averse to doing interviews. But this kind of thing, this early morning radio thing, I live on the island of Kauai, and one of the great benefits we have of living there is by the time you wake up, everything's over already. The stock market's ready to close and stuff like that. So, this kind of early morning radio, I wouldn't be doing at home because it'd still be dark.
Our guest, Todd Rundgren, July 16th at the Pantages Theater in Minneapolis. Now, I've seen you in concert, going way back. When you first, I don't want to say made it big, but I remember the whole Todd is God thing. Early, mid-'70s. It was really on fire. Did that mess with your head at the time or no?
Well, I've always tried to keep busy, and I've always tried to be realistic in terms of the expectations that the audience might have and what I'm capable of delivering. Now, I started out very early. I was in a band called the Naz, and I was still in my teens. And I got a snootful of everything that showbiz has to offer, before I was even 20. And so I kind of made a decision at one point that I didn't really want to be a so-called rock star. I just wanted to make records, and that's when I became a record producer and kind of accidentally backed into a career of my own. And at first I wasn't, I was not really a performer in that sense. I was never the lead singer in any of the bands that I was in, and I had to learn how to do that in front of everyone. I couldn't last 20 minutes sometimes, doing a show. My voice would just give out, and I kind of stuck with it. And now it's, of course, we're talking because I'm still doing it, but also it's become more of a second nature thing to me now. I still like to produce records. I still like to make music in the studio, but I enjoy as much playing in front of people and having the opportunity to sing and express myself as much as I do making records. So I'm kind of lucky. I can do both.
Our guest, Todd Rundgren, July 16th at the Pantages Theater in Minneapolis. Tickets, ToddRundgren.com, or just at the Pantages. Not to be missed. You're quite humble. You said, I got into producing records. Oh, boy, did you. Badfinger, Grand Funk Railroad, Cheap Trick, Hall & Oates, The Psychedelic Furs. I love the Tubes, Patti Smith, XTC, the New York Dolls, for God's sake. And in the mid to late 70s, you produced a little thing called Bad Outta Hell for the Unknown Meatloaf. And, man, what did that album sell? Like 30 million copies or something?
It's untold copies, I kind of don't count anymore because at a certain point there was some contention about exactly how many millions of records that it sold, and Meatloaf and Steinman wanted to do what they call an audit, which is, if you think your record company is paying you, for every record that's sold, you go in and you look at the books. And I know that these things can be expensive and take a long time, so so I just, I said I wasn't interested really in doing that. And ultimately, I sold my stake in the record back to Sony, who had acquired Columbia, who had the record, and blah, 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 blah. But that's why I live in Hawaii now. Because at a certain point, I said, what I really want is this piece of property in Kauai. And it doesn't matter to me anymore how many millions it sold. I'm going to Hawaii.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's one of the biggest selling albums of all time, but exactly how many, that's always been a bone of contention.
Sure. Hey, are you in calling from Hawaii right now?
No, I would not call from Hawaii right now because I'm in Chicago right now, and it's still pretty early in the morning. But in Hawaii, it's still dark.
Sure.
So,
wow.
But it's one of the reasons why I moved there. When you live there, by the time you get up and you're moving around, everything has happened already. The stock market's all ready to close. You can just kind of get on with your day and not have to fret so much about what's going on in the world because you're just this side of the date line. It's tomorrow. It's over the date line. And I kind of like it that way. There was a time in my life where I was just very engaged in everything that ever happened. But why fret over things you can't do anything about? So it's just much better to be out there under a palm tree with a Mai Tai.
Wow, man.
And watching the world go by.
I love it. Hey, humor me. I've always wanted to do this. Todd. Hello.
Yeah.
It's me. See? I've waited 40 plus years to do that. Well, listen.
I can't hear you. Who is this?
Hello. Well, Todd Rundgren, July 16th at the Pantages Theater. Still Me, Still We U.S. Tour. Get your tickets at toddrundgren.com or at the Pantages. Thank you, sir, and come back to the Johnny Rock Show very soon.
The Johnny Rock Show, Rockin' 101, The Rock.